Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Footy Geeks. If you have followed the channel, this is our second video, and this is in continuation with the first video, which was analyzing the transfer market after the transfer deadline day, what repercussions it has for your FPL teams, along with the starting lineups, and even guessing how the teams will look in terms of their gameplay or adapting the new signings into their fold as well. So this is part two. We had covered the first five teams in our first episode, which we have taken alphabetically. So today we are going to continue with the same. And so if you have seen the first episode, you might already have an idea about how we format the thing. So if you like our videos, you please like, share, and subscribe our channel so that we can just spread the word, and it would be a great. So this is my friend Meet Rajani, who is a Liverpool fan, and he'll be helping me out in the analysis as well. So
yeah, welcome back all.
Yeah,
Welcome back all. So we can resume with our session, right?
Yeah. So we will just start today's session with the first team today, which is Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace has had an okay window, I would say, because I think their main, I would say, signing was Wilfred Zaha staying, because it is really crucial for Crystal Palace, because their attack completely revolves around Wilfred Zaha. Also, they have Batshuayi on loan, which may be useful later on in the season. Currently, it is Jordan Ayew who is starting, but I can see Batshuayi having his fair share of matches as well. They signed Eze, who happens to be a good fixture. Meet, you've probably seen him as well, right? He happens to be
No,
good.
actually, I haven't seen much of him. I'm just heard that he's a good set piece taker.
Yeah, he is. So I think Eze would be a good signing for them in the long run. And especially, I think Eze and Zaha combined would be, a little tricky for those left backs and right backs in the Premier League.
I think Van Aanholt should be back after international break.
Might be. If that is the case, I think we will see Mitchell uh, probably being pushed out of the starting lineup. So
Yeah, so one of my reasons for using wildcard this week was him as well. As I don't have the all five playing defenders.
yeah,
Because if you consider Mitchell as a 4 million bench holder, right? So you need at least three or maybe four playing midfielders.
yeah.
And I'm thinking of going with uh, five good midfielders. So I think I might play 4-5-1 or 3-5-2. I would be
I guess
playing
midfielders have been heavy hitting recently. So
yeah, and if you look at the strikers, I don't think I trust many of them. Uh, if you want me to uh, for if you ask me who would be my four strikers, so I think it would be Kane, Vardy, Jimenez, and Ings. Apart from them, I don't trust the expensive strikers, right? Who on any
definitely.
day would give me return. So I'm just thinking of going for a strong midfield and a cheap striker like Wilson or Bamford, which I might rotate.
Yeah. So I think Mitchell is someone who might be, the fourth or fifth defender for quite a few teams. Uh,
Yeah,
and if Mitchell actually gets moved out, it would be like, you'll have to search for another budget defender, which maybe we can help you eventually.
I think
So
it might be the case that there might appear a 4 million defender um, probably by end of this EFL deadline if
yeah,
anyone signs.
Yeah,
or
because
maybe
we
a
still have
very
the
good.
AFL. You have the provision of signing the AFL players. The Premier League clubs can still sign, those EFL players. And there are
Yeah,
quite a few rumors right now because there are quite a few uh, teams who happen to be short of some players. They might, just go for a desperate bid, and
yeah.
you might see some
So
signing.
I think our injury to key player might result in a 4 million option opening up, but I don't
Yeah.
think at present there are many.
So I think that's it from the ends for Crystal Palace. There are no major outs really because Sorloth has never actually played for Crystal Palace properly. He has always been on loan. So it is not a
Mm.
major out in terms of the Crystal Palace starting 11.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we'll move on to the next side, which is
Yeah.
Everton.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, Everton has been good in the market, I would say. They have addressed the key areas that they wanted to address. Uh, Especially, I think the midfield and their creative department, they've handled it well. So I think, we all of us probably have either Rodriguez or Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison, one of these in our sides right now. That speaks volumes about Everton's form right now. I think the only problem that they had right now was Pickford, their goalkeeper. So they have signed Robin Olsen from Roma. And this guy might just end up starting the matches if Pickford does not sort of pull his socks up. So that's something to look forward to. I think they have a settled starting 11 right now.
I think what they did was they changed their whole mid and wings. They retained Richarlison and Lewin, and I think they revamped their mid very well. I think Alan and Ducore were very good signings. And
Yeah,
signing Rodriguez for free, that is actually a bargain of the
masterstroke.
season. I would,
That is actually a
yeah,
masterstroke. But I think you always anticipated Carlo Ancelotti going for James Rodriguez once he was
yeah.
available. But
I thought he might go back for one or two former players.
yeah,
So
he always does that.
James Rodriguez was on the cards.
So
And
so so was
Alan,
Alan. Yeah,
yeah, from Napoli. So I think he has signed a good DM, good midfielder, and a good playmaker.
yeah. And I don't know if
And
you've observed this Everton how they play right now. They are good in transition. So I think
yeah,
that was very important in like the ball retention is there along with the good transitions. I think it was really important for them to strengthen their team.
actually, Rodriguez is more of a playmaker. He usually shifts inside. And Lewin and Richarlison are more of a goal scorer. So I think
Yeah,
from what I have seen, Lewin is majority of the goals of Lewin have come from headers, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
Dean, I think Luca Dean and uh, James,
yeah. They are the
these
set
two
piece
guys
makers.
feeding him really well.
Yeah, I think
So
Richarlison is an interesting option if you consider the element that he is a penalty taker.
yeah,
Uh, and especially Calvert-Lewin is now reaching at a stage where he might, just the price has shot up so much that he might just not fit your budget. So if you are actually accommodating or trying to accommodate some Everton player, I think Rodriguez, Calvert-Lewin, and Richarlison are more or less the same price now.
yeah.
So maybe going for a
Actually,
differential like Richarlison is also a good idea eventually.
I thought of during the while. Actually, I did not take Lewin because last season after COVID he blanked for straight 9 game weeks, right?
Yes, I think he just
So
picked up the form starting this season.
yeah, so during that West Brom match, what I saw was due to red card. Obviously, he scored 3 goals,
Yeah,
right? But apart from that, I was not convinced with his overall gameplay. He's still scoring goals, but I was not convinced with his overall gameplay. So what I did was I took Rodriguez.
Yeah, definitely. I
And
think
I was
Rodriguez is a
losing
good pick.
patience with Rodriguez, but he delivered. So
Yeah,
if I look at if I think I was watching the commentator that day, he said he has performed in both the home games. So
correct.
what I think would be he would perform well in home fixtures and he would might blank in the away ones. So I would
That that would be
have a
really
look
similar
on the
to Mesut Ozil,
yeah.
when he started playing for us.
So I think what I would do is if they have good run of home games, then I will have Rodriguez for now.
Yeah,
But later on, let's see how it pans out. So I'm not gonna take Lewin because I am still not convinced with his overall gameplay. If I look at his goals, majority have been from header.
yeah.
So
I think what is
despite
important is also the fact that, like you said, Hamas takes those set pieces along with Digne, and
yeah,
so Calvert-Lewin is just there to convert, and also Richarlison is a penalty taker. So these are some
and
things
I
that you need to consider.
and I think Richarlison takes lots of shots during the game.
Definitely, definitely.
So I think Lewin and Richarlison are more of a goal scorer and Rodriguez is more of a playmaker. But
Correct.
he also chips in with goals, right? So I think I'm sticking with Rodriguez and I don't want to take Richarlison or Lewin for now. But it might force me to take one of them if they continue performing for a few more matches. But for now, I am content with Rodriguez.
I would actually advise you
Of
to
course,
watch out for this guy because I think 4.5 for Robin Olsen would be great. So,
yeah.
uh, yeah. So in terms of outs, they did sell Theo Walcott. So actually he went out on loan. So he has just returned to Southampton. But no major outs in terms of the Everton starting lineup. Uh, so I think they are in a good place right now, and you can just watch out for the key players that we already discussed.
I think they will sign maybe in January or next summer a good center back.
They should, I think, because Keane and Mina, if they want to go to the next level, they probably might not be good.
I think they have addressed more or less every area except the center back. So I think they would
I
go.
think they've signed Ben Godfrey, expecting him to do wonders, but he'll probably
Yeah,
take
they
some
have.
time to settle.
Yeah. So so I think they have addressed every area. Let's see how it pans out. I think they would improve. I think they have good chance of finishing in top seven.
Definitely, top seven, definitely. I would
Maybe
say
Sheffield drops out for them. Instead of Sheffield, they will
Sheffield have
face.
not started well yet, so seems so. Even Leeds might have a shout, but let's keep it for another episode, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, I think
So
we should keep.
yeah, I guess we'll move on to the next game now. It's Fulham. So Fulham have been struggling, and it's similar to their last run in the Premier League. They have now signed a lot of players, but I don't know. I would say that there's no clear pattern of what they are trying to do in terms of their gameplay, as of now at least.
I
So
think they would be relegated again. I don't see them surviving unless an out and out player comes out and performs really well. I don't see any particular player who will keep them afloat this season, apart from Mitrovic. But Mitrovic also needs service, so I don't see him given service from anywhere.
I think, like you said, I would agree that Mitrovic is more of a finisher. He he won't create
Yeah.
stuff for himself, and maybe I don't know. They might be hopeful with Loftus-Cheek joining, but uh, they had two signings, Loftus-Cheek and Anderson, on the deadline day. Anderson is someone that I did see in the Serie A perform quite well. He was playing for Sampdoria when I did
Okay.
observe his gameplay, but Again, it's like a wait and watch situation because in the midfield they already have Kearney, which I think Kearney is the club captain. He's not going to be top. Uh,
Mm.
so I don't know if Anderson would get a start. Also, I think Lookman is someone who was hyped a lot, so we can probably expect
I think
something
he
somewhere down the
played
season.
good at. I think he started good at Everton and then went to Leipzig and didn't perform that well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's back now. Hopefully, he should be a good signing for them. Otherwise, they are destined to be relegated, I guess.
yeah. Seems difficult for them. Uh, I think they have a long road ahead. Scott Parker is also, relatively new to managing Premier League, definitely. So
Okay,
I think they have a lot of work to do right now.
okay. Let's move
In
ahead.
terms of the players, I think Mitrovic is the only player that I would look at personally, uh,
I
and that
had
is only
I was
because he's a goal scorer and he has penalty duty.
I was only looking for a player who will play who would give me 2 points, like a 4.5 midfielder initially. So it was Reed, but Reed got injured. Not this
Yeah,
Bobby Reed guy, the another Reed.
yeah,
So, but now I am revamping the midfield, so I don't think I would need anyone from Fulham anymore. But if you
yeah,
want a cheap option, I think Fulham is the team, but I don't expect any return from them.
yeah. I think there are better alternatives at this moment.
Hmm.
In terms of outs, no major outs again. Uh, they had a run in the championship and they got promoted, which was actually sort of an upset because they were not
Hmm.
actually performing that well, but they still managed to come to the Premier League, and then I think it is hitting them hard right now. But let's see. So long road ahead. Yeah.
Hmm.
The next team is Leeds. So, like Fulham, they were promoted, but Leeds, on the contrary, have been performing quite well. They've been really competitive. They have had really high octane matches, I would say, uh, and they have signed well. I think most of their signings are already key players in the side. You can look at Helder Costa, who starts from them on the wings every week. So does Jack Harrison from Man City, who's on loan from Man
I
City.
think
And,
I think he changed the formation after first fixture. He
yeah,
is going two up front and three at the back. So yeah, I
yeah,
think he changed it to 3-5-2 and played Tyler Roberts
yeah,
along with Bamford.
yeah.
And I think he will continue with that formation, and Rodrigo Moreno and Bamford might start up front.
Yeah. I
So
think eventually that seems to be the plan.
it seems it will be that way. And I was very impressed with Klitsch and Phillips. Phillips is their I guess the key player for them
Yeah.
in terms of
Maybe
distribution and gameplay,
maybe
play
not in
gameplay.
FPL terms, but
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
not
for
in
the team.
FPL terms, but in terms of their um, aspirations for staying up. I think
I think
they will have a top 10 finish. They have
definitely
looked
I see them
promising.
finishing in the top 10. I think all of us probably have a budget midfielder slot. I think you can look at these uh, players. Helder Costa has been performing well. Klitsch is a penalty taker. Harrison is performing well as well. Definitely the striker option you've already alluded to, Bamford. And
Yeah,
Rodrigo might start, I think, quite frequently now as well. So those are
yeah,
some
he
good
scored
options.
as well. So I guess he should start alongside Bamford now.
Yeah,
And actually, Leeds had difficult run, but they performed really well. So they
yeah,
should kick on from now.
yeah. And in terms of their outs, I would say they have performed well in the market because they didn't actually lose many players, many key players,
Hmm.
I would say, and they've
I think that
signed very well.
their key player. I think their key player was Ben White. One of the key players was Ben White,
Yeah,
which was
definitely.
on loan.
Yeah.
So
But I
I
think they've
think,
signed Diego Lorente as well. Might,
yeah. So I think let's see how it uh, combines with Cooper and Coach. I think Coach has been clumsy in first three games,
yeah,
but overall he has been good. But I think he gave away penalty in all three games, right?
yeah, yeah.
Versus Fulham, Liverpool, and I guess which was the third match. I don't know.
So let's
One of
see.
them was City.
I think they've been quite impressive. So it would be really refreshing to see a championship side getting promoted to the Premier League and staying uh, after getting, toe to toe with these clubs, because they are not like,
Yeah,
holding back or, playing defensive. They are quite front foot.
yeah, yeah.
So
The-
it would be
Actually,
really refreshing.
they are. I think they have been like Bulls. Bulls
Yeah,
also had a good start to Premier League and they maintained that level. Although they had good signing thanks to Jose Mendes.
yeah,
So I think they will emulate Wolves
they should.
in terms of staying in Premier League.
Okay. The next team we are going to discuss is Leicester. They did start well. Uh, they were like, I think they had the shock of the season thus far, only to be beaten by Aston Villa. So I think Vardy was definitely scoring a lot of
Uh,
penalties, and it was an option for uh, you know the striker slot. But what we did see was two shock options, which was Castagne, who was just signed for the right back spot, who actually happened to be a right midfielder when I had seen him in the Serie A. So he's just converted to right back and he's been performing well. Also, Ben Chilwell left, and you might have thought that the left back spot would be a concern, but James Justin has settled quite well. He happens to be in my team as well, so he's performing well right now.
I,
They were just
I
beaten
think,
by West Ham, but I think they're good in terms of their side.
but I think Ricardo Pereira should be back after international break. He has resumed training,
Yeah, we
so
might see Castagna being dropped.
I think he would play at left back, Castagne and Ricardo Pereira at right back, because I
Yeah, let's
think
see.
Castagne has performed too good to leave him out.
Let's see. I don't know if from being a right midfielder to a left back is a huge transition, but I think Brendan Rodgers does like his share of transition. So maybe it
The
actually might be the
reason
case.
I am thinking he would play is because he spent a good amount on him, right?
Definitely.
So when they were selling Chiller, he might have a idea in his mind that I am either. I think he had idea in his mind that I will play Ricardo Pereira at the left back probably.
Yeah. I think both of them are too good to leave out. I would
Yeah,
agree with you that part. So, in terms of the centre backs, they did sign Fofana, who is quite highly rated, but I see Evans and Soyuncu continuing to start at the centre back spots. Uh, Harvey Barnes happens to be an interesting option. I think if he was slightly better priced, I think we could have, just give him a look. But it's like he is, I think, 7 mil or something, which is quite pricey. I think our picks would be Vardy mainly, right?
in terms of FPL, in terms of players FPL wise, I think I have resisted temptation to take Vardy for now. Although he's on pens and scoring quite a few. But if I look at 10 million of Vardy and against that I look at, let's say, Bruno. So if I am spending, let's say, 10 million on Vardy and I would rather spend 10 million on Bruno.
because
because
simply
my thinking is,
Man United would get more penalties.
yeah, that's the one part. But my thinking is that if I'm preferring to have 10 million for a 20 goal striker, I would rather spend 10 million on a maybe 13 or 15 goal scoring midfielder. So,
They get more points.
because he would give me eventually more points.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to accommodate cheap striker, which would eventually give me same number of points and focus more on midfield. For example, what I did good last season was that we usually kept Ings or Jimenez, right? So they were 6.5 and 8.5, and they scored nearly same amount of goals as Vardy.
Yeah,
So if you had either say we almost all of us had Ings, right? So we were replacing goals of Vardy with a 6.5 million striker. So I'm thinking of going that way. That I will have a cheap striker who is in good form, and I would keep rotating him and have a strong, stable midfield. So
I
that,
I did see that Kevin De Bruyne probably had an injury scare, so you
yeah,
might,
we
yeah,
will have
you
to
might have some
wait and
budget.
see what are the. I think if Kevin De Bruyne is injured, Aguero is back. So I in the City team, I only trust two players to have consistent return as of now. De Bruyne and
And
Sterling, but now if Aguero
I
is
think
back,
both of
so
them combined gives you more return because City without any
that's,
striker, Gabriel Jesus is also injured and Aguero is also injured. So, if either of them come back, I think De Bruyne starts giving you points. So
yeah. Let's see how it goes.
yeah,
We will discuss about that in during City.
yeah. In terms of Leicester City outs, we've already gone through Ben Chilwell. So Meet and I agree that he's an interesting option because apart from being a defender, he might be taking the set pieces as well. So that would, like in the last week, probably give you returns in the long run. So that is something in terms of the Leicester City out. Uh, I think
Have
we are done with
get to
the.
on that.
Yeah, I think we are done with these five teams. So with that, I think we come to an end to this episode as well. Uh, Likewise, in the next episode, we'll be again taking up the next five teams, which is alphabetical again. And we'll see you then. So, meet any last minute pointers from you?
No, I guess you covered it well, so I guess I don't have much to add.
Any wildcard tips that you are using right now because you have an active wildcard?
I'm going for a good midfield and a proper defense. So what I would my plan going ahead would be have a stable midfield and rotate defenders and strikers.
Yeah, makes sense. I
That's
think
the
midfielders have been giving us points.
yeah. So that's my current plan, but it would change if there are injuries and these COVID situations.
Yeah.
That would be an enforced one. Another player I am keeping eye on is Bale. So once he returns, how Spurs play and whether we need to have Son or Bale, that I think would be a tricky one because I think Bale will not play whole season, but the fixtures he plays, he will have a good impact on the team. So let's
I
see
think it
how it
would
pans out.
be all interesting to see how Jose uses him because I think
Yeah,
typically Bale is not the kind of player that he prefers. Uh, he prefers more work ethic from his players, which you would not associate with Gareth Bale. But let's see. He is someone who has lit up the Premier League in the past, and he has a point to prove as well. So that would be an interesting thing to watch. Yeah. So with that, I think we'll wind this episode up, and please do like and share and subscribe our channel because it would help us a lot. And we'll see you in another video. Like I said, we'll focus on the next 5 teams. So see you then. Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you guys for joining.